Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. It's your one and only Lance, along with DT and just Jerry. Listen, guys, we back, baby. How we doing?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
I'm just upset that we see your face again. DT, you still with us?
I'm here, Pa. I'm here, living this dream. You know what I'm saying? This thing they call life. Loving every bit of it.
Yeah. Like you living it like Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, motherfucker.
Only in America.
Well, listen, fellas. You know what we want to talk about today. Today we want to talk about insurance, and how important it is. And actually, to be honest with you, this is a team here, and when we go through things, together as one. And just Jerry and I actually went through an issue where we had a property vandalized, and insurance is going to bail us out because we had insurance. Like I said, you got to treat every property you have, like it's $1 million property. Because I'll tell you right now, DT, I know you can attest to this, just Jerry for sure, that there are people out there that don't have insurance on their properties. Trying to save a couple dollars.
What?
Right? Like I'm saying, we know some of the students that we've helped.
So
don't have insurance on their properties. I'm like, what are you doing?
It goes down to it saves you money, but as right now conversation, if you don't have no cash for you, you try to take the shortcut, and that shortcut could really fuck you up, bro.
Could ruin you.
It could take you from I'm happy to, man, I gotta sell my properties because I ain't got it.
Let me stop you real quick. I don't like two things Lance said in his beginning of this statement of this episode.
He went back to game.
New me, new year, new me. I'm not letting Lance get away with what he got away with last year. We're not doing that. We're pulling cars. Pulling cars.
It's in his contract. It's in his contract.
Yeah, I ain't like the way he said that when we go through things, we go through it together. Speak for yourself, brother. You know what I'm saying? What you go through, you go through. I don't go through what you go through. Jerry don't go through what that's your problems, not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Don't put my baggage on you guys. Word. Okay, I got you.
That's number one. Right? Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear about that. All right. Number two.
Copy that.
Insurance is not an option. It's a necessity.
But to people that they think is an option.
To anybody who listens to us, it's not an option.
1,000%.
It's a necessity.
We'll tell us more, DT.
To people who don't know how to do real estate or just kind of, fly by night, learning as they go, wing it, which respect to those people as well. But, you're just not doing it right. You have to protect your investment. How do you protect your investment? By having insurance on it. You can't expect to, depending on where you are in the spectrum, it doesn't matter. No matter what, you're the richest of riches or the poorest poor. You should have insurance on your property. 100%. Never is there a situation where you could say, I'll wait a day, a week, a month. Because in that day, week, month, you can have vandalism, you can have a fire, water damage, you can have Niagara Falls frozen in your kitchen or your bathroom, like we talked about on one of our previous episodes. If you're tapped in, pay attention, H.G.R.G.club. Nevertheless, like insurance is not an option, it's a necessity. People who operate in the space that insurance is an option, it's not your wisest investors in real estate. That's now you're gambling like Russian roulette. Like it's literally you could lose everything in a drop of a dime. Right? Emergencies never happen between 9 to 5, Monday through Friday when they're controllable. Emergencies happen on New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night when nobody's working, somebody's not home.
Emergencies happen when you have a dime in your pocket, thinking I still got everything right. My rent is about to come in, and emergency comes in, and you ain't got the money to do it.
It sounds like you might have a little experience, sir.
If it always finds a way, if finds a way to hit you at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said in the beginning, you know, to bring it back like DT, I said that we just recently went through an issue, right? One of our properties got vandalized. You know, they broke everything from ceiling to floor, you know, and everything in between.
And you know what's crazy is we speak about this like we're bad landlords. We have took care of that tenant, and that tenant still destroyed our property. We are not slumlords, so he didn't do it out of anger.
Yep.
No, I would say it comes with the game. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%. I just want to make sure because they might think that we did something wrong to him. No, we did what we got to do, and he still violated our property.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clear that up.
In violating your property, can you be specific on how, you know, what that violation looked like?
He was just talking about it.
Yeah, you know when
you don't want to share his pain because apparently, according to Lance, you guys go through everything together. We all do.
DT, you were there. Go ahead, and tell me.
That's what I'm saying. You were there too. That's the reason why I said it in the beginning. You was there. You was there.
My version of the story is going to be a lot more eloquent.
You know, it's like they took any frustration they ever had in their life, they took it out on the property. How about that? I mean, from the kitchen sink to the walls, to the ceiling,
to the bathroom vanities,
floors, you know,
to the washing
vanity
machines.
I mean, just for what? I mean,
copper, windows, doors, name it. We got hit.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, really, to be honest with you, they were wrong that they were in their position in the first place, and then because they were in the position they were in, you know, when it was crunch time, you know, they did what they did. You know, they didn't do the right thing. You know, and it happens. I chalk it up to the game. You know,
but if you have great protection,
yeah,
you could definitely chalk it up to the game, and don't chalk it up to yourself.
Yeah. So do you fellas, not to cut you off, DT, but do you fellas remember the video of the guy walking through the house going, you know,
crying?
I was good to you.
Yeah, on the episode we did.
Yep.
Right.
Actually,
and like have insurance.
What we should do is we should like clip that little portion of it and play that right now.
100%.
100%. Small portion of that.
You know, check that clip out real quick.
Yeah.
Back to this. You know, so you know, the reality is that gentleman wasn't covered.
Yeah, this is that moment for you, but you have coverage. He doesn't. That's the only difference.
And look at our face and look at his voice.
Look how you laugh.
He was crying over there, bro. He was crying.
Yeah, which I mean, it's not funny, you know, for him, but it's funny in the overall scheme of things. It's the point of it. I'm sure, Lance, what you were getting at is the fact that this is how you do real estate right? This is how you own rental properties the correct way, right? You gentlemen have insurance policies in place, and you know that cover anything like this, which that's you guys doing real estate right. Unfortunately, that gentleman, for whatever reasons, I don't know why, he wasn't advised that way, or he didn't learn that you needed to have insurance in order to cover you on, you know, certain things like that.
Or shortcuts. He took shortcuts thinking.
I feel like that may have been his first property.
Could be.
And had no guidance, you know.
Could be.
So,
yeah, but you know,
you made it seem like.
Go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't ever cut me off. You know, he made it seem like back to 2023. He made it seem like
it was his first property.
Like this version of you being back. You stuttering, I'm not really feeling this version of you being back.
You know, listen, I wasn't stuttering. You know what I'm saying? That was a good smooth train of thought. You know, I was getting into it like bang. You know what I'm saying?
Right, bang.
He made it seem like that was his bread and butter.
I miss you, mofos, man.
Action. And he made it seem like that was his bread and butter. You know, or that was his biggest investment. That was his first investment. He took a chance on it.
It was like,
you know, and now this happened to him.
The whole world was crashed. Like, it was over. Like, everything was over. Life was stopped. And, you know, I mean, because that's a real thing. You know, a story time with DT. So I have an investor, right? Got a property. Similar situation. Tenant wasn't doing the right thing. Owner did the right thing. Tenant decide to do some damage to the property and leave the property and allow somebody else to move in, they move somebody else in without the understanding or the proper leasing or the authorization of the owner or the property management. The person
so they do like a sublet thing.
Yeah, but it was illegal subletting, right?
Correct.
Because that's it's a complete violation of the list. Excuse me, not list, lease. So they moved somebody in. The person who they moved in was like a squatter, essentially. The squatters didn't have any gas and electric in the property, so there was no electric or heat. There was no heat, no lights, no nothing. They used to use fires. They had like a little fire pit in the kitchen that would heat the house up. So I don't know what happened, but one night the fire pit caught on fire in the kitchen, burnt out the house, right? Burned down the backside of the house. So the house they're very close to each other. So this house that was an investor of mine's house burnt down the back, and it affected the house next door to it. It burnt like the back portion of that house. So after the fire, the owner of the house next door contacts me to tell me that he's going to sue me because my house burnt his house. I didn't tell him this because it's not my information to relay. That's not my house.
Bro,
I don't own that house. I represent the owner of the house.
I don't live there.
Right? If there's a fire, your insurance goes after his insurance, and then they figure it out. That's
right.
Oh,
just like a car accident.
You know what he said? I don't have insurance.
Who?
He said, I bought this house for $20,000. Every week I put in 500, 400, 300. Basically, I'm scraping to fix this property up to make it my first rental property. I've been doing this for 2 years straight.
2 years with no
2 years straight, never collected nothing. He just trying to put it together. He's trying to, figure it out. Rob Peter to pay Paul to fix this house up. He had to put a kitchen, a bathroom, siding, windows, doors, all this. And now this one fire brought that initial investment of $20,000 plus whatever he spent into it to maybe worth $10,000. Maybe. So he tried to sue.
Yeah.
Initially, he tried to sue me, but it didn't work out. Then he tried to sue the owner because he found that out. That didn't work out for him.
That lawyer said, DT is not the owner.
Oh man, but that's a simple search to understand who the owner is. I mean,
if you don't know that,
you can't say that.
All you go for is the contact. The contact information says, this is the management company. I'm going to sue this person, and then we're going to go from there. But that gets like thrown away very fast if you have an attorney who understands the game. Because if he really tried to sue me, which he did, he contacts an attorney. The attorney contacts me. My response to that attorney determines that his attorney's next move. So my attorney's response to his attorney deaded that real quick, and then his attorney then found out who the real owner of the property was. They went after him, and then their insurance fought that out, and it didn't work out for the guy. So the guy ended up with a property that he had, all his everything saved up into. He ended up selling for like $8,000 to somebody else I know, and they bought the house, and they fixed it up, and then they made it. They flipped it.
And they put insurance. Oh, that's what he said. And
he first thing he did was get insurance. You know what I'm saying? So long story dragged out to say that insurance is everything. The same investor, quickly, another house. I'm on vacation one day. It's like a Sunday. I'm coming back in town Sunday. I get 35 phone calls. I didn't get them, but when I got off the plane, I got bing, 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 bing. All the notifications. Long story short, the house I manage for the same owner of the last house is on the news. House fire, hair dryer.
That's the one blew up?
A lady, no, not that one. That was a different one. A lady and a kid were in the house. Thank God nothing happened. They didn't get hurt or nothing like that. Long story short, the house burned down real bad. This happened on a Sunday night at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I get off the plane.
Oh, it was at 9 to 5?
No, never. Fires don't. They operate on their own time. So
no, they don't operate. Gotta be. Next time you call the fire and let them know. Look. When I'm on vacation, you can't be doing that.
You know what they tell me? You know what they always tell me? That time slot is occupied. You got to pick your new one.
Got it.
I guess I'm not important enough to be during the 9 to 5 shift or whatever. So I take my lady home, whatever, fly out there. I get there by like 12. somewhere around there, midnight. When I got there at midnight, bro, there was no house. They demolished the house. The fire happened at 9. By midnight, the house was demolished. They were like sifting dirt over that land. They were like smoothing out the dirt over the land. The house is gone. Cool.
That's crazy.
Time goes by because it's, none of this stuff happens overnight as far as the insurance claims and contacting people. As you guys know, it takes time.
We can talk about that.
Months, right? Which we're going to dive into that.
Absolutely.
So owner contacts his insurance contacts whatever they have to contact. Long story short, he had insurance on the house, but the city of Rochester demolished his house. So now whatever his insurance policy was, the dollar amount, he owes the city of Rochester like $28,000 for the demolition of the house, which nobody ever authorized. Nobody authorized that. The city has the dominion. I don't know if that's even the right word, but they have the authority is the right word to demolish it on their, whatever assessment they make. If it's not safe or it's, if it looks like it's going to fall,
but on your pockets though.
Yes, you're the owner. You owe that bill.
Property.
And you're the owner. That just shows you don't own shit. Because my thing is, how do they have final say and don't run anything past you or anything like that? No options, no nothing.
Because you pay their property taxes, you still pay that property. My property is on my land, on the government's land. So you still own your property, but they own the land.
Now you own the land.
I'm talking about the concrete, the taxes, all that is you're still paying the government.
Yeah,
right? What you're saying is that you never really own it.
You really never.
They can do something like what they did.
Yeah, I think that's a false narrative. I think you own the land. I think and this is a heated discussion that we can have that I think we should one day. But I think that's a false narrative. You own that land if you own the land, right? If you own it. Now, if you're paying, multiple entities with mortgages and stuff like that, obviously now you're not the owner. But let's just say you own that land free.
Technically, I mean, but you should be. Listen, let's not get in. We're gonna go off the rails with that.
We should one day. We should tap into that one day. But let's just say you own the land free and clear, right? And we will. We'll tap into that. You own the land free and clear. That's your land. Okay. If a structure on your land is affected and you don't have the means to address whatever needs to be addressed according to the municipalities.
But they made a decision without the owner in 3 hours.
Let me give you a reason though. This is policy. There was no owner on site. There was nobody responsible for the property on site. There was nobody there who was authorized with the actual ownership of the property to determine which, I'm going to take responsibility or you're going to take responsibility. Do I think it's right? No, but I'm saying that that's the reason why they're able to do that. That's that loophole for them.
I think that's silly.
We have to.
Let's not jump with that because
that is another episode because I have so many things to argue that point. But go ahead.
And we will. And but I guess right now to avoid going into that now, but also just making sure that it's a relevant point is that the fact that to Jerry and Lance's point, you might not own that land according to what they're saying. Whether we agree or disagree, because if you don't have the authority to make every decision on that property, do you really own it? Is probably where they're coming from.
That's correct.
Me, on the other hand, I probably have a little bit different perspective, but I can't deny what they're saying is relevant. So at that point in time, the city of Rochester makes the decision to demo the house, and then there's nobody to govern how much they're going to charge. Their bill is their bill.
Their bill is their bill.
There's no, let's get another quote. Oh, you hired DT, but I could have hired Lance, and Lance would have did it for 10. DT would have did it for 17. Jerry did it for 39 or whatever the number is.
As soon as the city and county calls, that number goes way up.
It's a monopoly. And there's nobody.
You weren't there. You weren't there to tell me something different. So, all right. My best man's did that job.
Right, because there's always they always say conspiracy theorists have this government thing. If I get these jobs, I kick back money, and it's documented. If you just Google Rochester authorities with contractors and demolition companies, it's documented that people have given kickbacks and went to jail for you know, it's documented. It's not like a false thing. It's really a real thing. And I'm sure in every city, there's something similar to that. If not now, then somewhere past in the line. But nevertheless, after they demolished that house and the insurance company, so this is what happened. His policy, for whatever reason, it was like $30-something thousand, right? He had to pay the city $28,000. So I don't know how much he walked away with. Let's just say $7,000, right? He walks away with $7,000. He no longer has a property, but he has to still pay the taxes for that property. He can't sell it. I mean, he can sell it, but who's going to buy it?
Who's going to buy it?
Really a valuable piece of land. There's no development nature. Yes, it's a plot. So what he ended up doing is donating that piece of land, donating it, and then writing that loss, the depreciate on taxes. And essentially he walked away with a positive, probably $4,000 or $5,000, only because he did not have a mortgage. Had he had a mortgage,
he still had to pay that.
He would still have to pay
the
or
that bank don't care about no.
But wouldn't some insurances help you rebuild? If you have proper insurance, they'll rebuild the property for you.
Yes, but no.
And you start the more.
The first of all, you have to have the right policy, and the right policy, the right policy, the right insurance. Because not every insurance is going to help you build. You have to get the right insurance.
There's a lot of loopholes to that.
You can't have that basic shit.
Yeah. You can have the basic, you know, people think that policy types, the details to that are very intricate, and the black and white is very important. But when people say basic, I mean, basic to you may not be basic to me, right? It's perspective on what a policy is, basic or not, right? We understand what that means, though, right? The cheaper policy is the basic. I would assume, right?
So I learned the hard way with the car.
Right.
You know, like I totaled the car, didn't have gap insurance.
Right.
Right. And still I had to come out of pocket. Right. So somebody hit me, totals my car, and I got to end up paying.
That's actually a great example. That's actually a great example. So on car insurance, right? You said gap insurance is basic, right? Okay. What about the people?
Well, no, I didn't say it's basic. I didn't have it. So I had basic.
No, okay. Cool. So what I'm saying is, what about the people who only have liability and don't have collision or full coverage? Plus gap insurance. No, gap insurance it's not basic. It's like plus.
What I'm telling you is, hear me out. What I'm telling you is that if it's basic, right? Like obviously I had a basic insurance at that time, you know, that didn't have gap insurance or any of that. I didn't get a rental car, you know, or nothing like that. What I'm saying is that, you know, and when you do basic, you're not going to get anything. So if you do basic in the rental space as well, if your house burns down, if you don't have the right policy, like just Jerry was saying, there may not be a rebuild, and you just might be stuck with a plot of land, and you may have to donate it, like you said, and write it off. So there's levels to it.
And when we say get a policy, just read into it. Just don't get any policy just because you have insurance. Oh, I should be good. So what DT is telling you is, just because you have somewhat, quote unquote, basic insurance, and you think you're going to be good with a burn property or a fire or something else happening.
Let's get into detail. Let's talk about it. Like, what does that mean? What does basic mean? When insurance, when you talk to insurance and they say you have the options for insurance, like you call an insurance policy, you say, I want to insure, you know, my portfolio or my property or whatever the number is, right? When they talk to you, what do they give you the options to do what? Change the value? They ask you, do you want full recovery value? If the property were to get on fire, whatever, do you want to replace it? Or do you want to set that number lower? Do you want $1 million in insurance? Do you want full replacement plus actual costs? Like, there's terminology they use, and you have the option to do all of the above. Obviously, if you say, I want full replacement plus personal damages and protection on this level, and this, you know, your number's going to go up. Your monthly annual note or whatever that looks like is going to go up. If you just say, I want a basic, to use Lance's quote, a basic landlord policy, you know, they're going to give you a minimum value of replacement, right? A minimum value of insurance. And then you could tone that up a little bit, tone it up a little bit, or tone it down or whatever. You have that option. Now, what are you
Or
required?
you can ask like a child, you know what I'm saying? Like I would do. But hey, listen, if my shit burns down,
Mhm.
I need that covered. You know, what is that? What is that? Can I get that?
And how much money is that? How much does that
And how
cost?
much does that cost me a month? You know, I don't give. Listen,
Yeah,
don't
but
ever feel
I don't
stupid
want to
in
miss
any
over that though.
space.
I don't want to miss over that though, Lance,
Go ahead.
because what's your matter of fact? Let me answer that. What does that mean to you? If your house burns down and you said my shit gets covered, what do you mean? What gets covered?
Right. I need the property to be rebuilt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Especially if I have a mortgage on it, because I don't want to. If I own it,
Yeah.
might be different. I might settle up with the,
Yeah.
with the insurance, maybe sell it fire damaged,
Mhm.
get it off the books and move on.
Mhm.
But if I have a mortgage on it and it's a property that does well for me,
Yeah.
chances are if that shit burns down, I need that to be rebuilt. And what happens is your mortgage never it's like nothing ever happened. Whatever you owed and whatever you're paying, that's going to be the
So
same
that
thing.
debt.
The
So
yeah
that debt.
that bank does not care about a fire, a tenant. The bank does not care about anything you're going into personally.
Yep.
What
And
they
there's
Bank is not
want,
your
protections.
friend.
There's
give me my
protections you can get
money.
for that, but
You know,
nevertheless, it's added cost.
when people owe the mafia and they don't give a fuck what you're going through personally.
Yeah, the
Well,
mafia ain't got shit on the bank.
so you're
Right.
They ain't got shit on the bank.
At least they'll break your legs and maybe that's enough payment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sometimes getting your legs broken might be better than what the bank's gonna do to you.
you might get your legs broken and get some
You
more
get your legs
time. You know what I'm
broken, it
saying?
might
The
be a
bank is just,
surgery or a 6 to 8 week recovery. The bank, that shit is 7 years.
yeah. You guys are stupid, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
the bank is a
I
wrap.
don't want to drag this on too long, but I want to make sure that we tap on that because there's a lot of information in insurance. So we can't cover it in one episode. Obviously, you can comment, ask questions, talk to us. We talk back, but nevertheless,
Yeah, let's move forward.
We
So give
definitely
me the steps, Steve.
emphasize the
Give me the steps,
importance
though.
of insurance on any and every property. I don't care if it's your first. Actually, you should. When you go to a bank, not a bank, I'm sorry. When you go to closing on a property, a good attorney won't allow you to close on a property unless you provide them with an insurance binder.
Right.
If you have an attorney
That's a fact
that allows you to close on a property without an insurance buyer, fire him.
Fire him.
He's the worst.
Right.
Our attorneys that we give to you go to H.G.R.G.club. They ask for that insurance binder.
How do you close on a property without insurance? And then what some people do is they'll get an insurance policy and they'll pay the immediate deductible or whatever, and then they'll cancel it or they won't renew it. So then they'll maintain the property without insurance for so long. So what are the steps, Jerry? That's a good question. Number one is whenever you put an offer on a property, you take over a property, you own a property, you inherit a property, buy a prop, whatever, whether it's your personal residence, a rental property, an investment property, a partnership, anything to do anything with real estate, with a property, insurance is key. 1,000%. There's no getting around it. There's no situation where anybody could ever present to me that I could wait a day or two or a month. Nah, then don't do it. So the steps are, when you're interested in a property or you're buying a property, you got to contact an insurance. I always recommend an insurance broker as opposed to just going to one insurance agent. But if you have a good relationship with an agent that insures your properties and, you have great, stay with it. But personally, I use insurance broker. The insurance broker, why I say that is because an insurance broker shops your policy to multiple agents, right? So they'll shop it to State Farm, they'll shop it to Geico, they'll shop it to Erie, they'll shop it to this place, and they'll get you the best rate. And they'll tell you, hey, I got this policy at this number. It's the right coverage for you. This is the best one that I would go with. Sure. That's my recommendation. Other people,
that's how we started before we gained our relationship.
Yeah, other people are just loyal to some, one person, and whatever the number is, they do. And one thing I will tell you too is, and I have a great relationship with my insurance policy guy, but he also knows that I'm not married to him. Over time, insurance companies, they raise. Every like 3 years. Every 3 years, I reshop my insurance policy and I bring that evidence back to them.
And they match it.
And it's weird how they always find a way to match it.
They match it.
It's weird. It's so weird.
That's a gem. That is a gem. That is a gem. Nobody really talks about that. Yeah. All right. So Lance, let's talk about it. Let's talk what happened to us. Yeah, let's go to it.
So So we play the game right. We have insurance. DT goes to the property, meets the police at the property. They run through the property, and what they are supposed to do, DT, is a police report. Yes? Right?
Yeah.
So the police report
actually is not typically a police report because
it's an incident report.
I don't know the city. I don't know the police policy, but I honestly just think they're lazy. So what they give you is a CR number, a criminal report number, and then after they give you that number, within I think like 72 hours or 48 hours, they're supposed to provide a police report so that you can simply call the office, provide that CR number, and then they could forward you the actual report. But
so how important?
Well, they still got to make the report,
right? But they do it on their time, not like right then and there at the scene of the crime.
Right. I'm not saying that at the scene doing a police report, right? But I guess whenever they get to it, the notes or whatever. But so, and then that police report.
How important is the police report, though?
Well, let's get to it. I
think you guys can answer that.
The adjuster, right? That's handling, the claim that you're putting in, is going to ask or submit themselves for that CR number to get the police report.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking, so this is the first time we're going through this, something like this at this magnitude, right? Mm-hmm. So we go, cool, they got it. The adjuster has submitted for it. Boom, boom, boom. We're good.
We went to the proper steps. We called the police. DT, our partner, went to go see the property, make sure the police looked at the property. They did whatever their assessment was. We did all that. They got the police report. We thought the police report was done. We called the insurance. The insurance said, "Hey, we'll look into it. We'll do it. I'll drive by, but we do need a police report." So all that, we think we're golden.
Yeah. Yep. And what does the adjuster do? I'm like, yo, Jerry, this take kind of long, man. He's like, yeah, so reach out to him. That's Jerry. So reach out, man. Call. I'm like, all right. So I call the adjuster and I go, listen, guys, it's been like 2-3 weeks here. We would like to get the check so we can fix the property, and move on and move past this.
Or respond to us.
Every day is $1 gone. You know what I'm saying? So they go, listen, we submitted it, and sometimes they do it at their time and whatnot, but usually they get back to us. But you can call. And I was like, okay, so that's what we'll do. So I call. I speak to.
Who do you call?
I call Rochester Police, the supervisor of their shift, and
this is so he doesn't speak to anybody until a month and a half.
This is right.
Fast month and a half into the incident they had. That means for a month and a half, we're not collecting rent. We're not working on the next on rebuilding. Everything is at halt.
Yeah, you got to
because we're waiting,
boarded up and subject to vandalism again.
Correct. So we're here, and we still haven't talked to the police yet. Go ahead.
So finally, we get a call back from the supervisor or sergeant, captain, whoever it was, and we're like, "Hey, listen, we got the names from you, DT. The officers. Thank God you do well on your side to take notes. You gave us the officers' names and whatnot, so we were able to communicate that to them. Say, hey, listen, these were the people that were on duty that took the report.
Is the report number
right? What's going on?" And then, he's like, all right, well, let me reach out to them and let me see what's going on. And they'll call you, boom, boom, boom. So they come. There it is. That's a fact. There it is. And they call me back, but it's like 2 a.m, so I'm asleep. I missed a phone call. Right. And what I did was I had spoke to the sergeant captain, whatever it was, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And they were like, we're going to get back to you. Sit tight. I ended up falling asleep. So now we're in a pickle because now they call me private. I can't call them back.
Correct.
They call me no number.
Now we're back to square one. We got to keep on calling.
Now we're back to trying to find the supervisor again.
2 months and a half. 2 months and a half into the incident. we still do not have the report.
Right.
Just want to make sure we understand. We are working on their time.
So no, finally we can contact. Jerry actually gets in contact with them.
I go, because so now and like I said, I don't care how much money you have, how much money you don't have. Things got to be right. And if you have to make sure your things are right, you put in the work. I was calling daily, every night. What's up? I need to speak to Mr. Smith and Torres. Okay. All right. So tell them to send me an email. Next day, I need to speak to Mr. Smith and Torres. Where are they? Yeah. What time do they start their shift? I call that time. I'm calling all times of hours. 1 o'clock in the morning, 7 in the morning. They got fed up with me. The lady calls me and go, Are you trying to contact me? Yes. I've been trying to contact you for 3 months. Yes. The report was not done.
It was never done.
How about that?
Never done.
It was never done. So the reason why the adjuster was waiting and couldn't get it back is because it was never done. So eventually, finally, they get it done, and you had to go pick it up, DT. So Jerry gives your name and gives his name.
Fucking nightmare.
They only write his name, so now you cannot pick up the paper.
But and then we forgot a key part.
What's that?
The adjuster does not tell us what we missed a key part. The adjuster tells us we have to go get a contract quote so we can understand where's the amount that he's gonna let go for us.
Request.
Yeah. So we have to get a quote from a contractor, which all contracts right now are like all over the place. We have an inside source, my man DT. Did what he had to do, and we got a quote the same week that the incident happened. But the conversation is, if you don't have a quote, they're not even listening to you.
Yeah, so you need a quote. You need
a police report.
And then you need to make sure all that gets to the adjuster. Then the adjuster will submit it to the insurance. The insurance will approve it or not. And those are the steps. Right now, we're in the approval part of it. So we finally got through everything. But I mean, it was a mountain to climb.
4 months later, we just got approved. We're waiting for everything to straighten out.
Well, I'll thank you for this. So the first time I went to go get the police report, they didn't let me get it. I'm on the phone with Jerry. I'm like, yo, I'm here. Whatever you told me, I told them. Officers looking at me like I'm crazy. I literally cannot stand, people who take their job too serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally like on the phone, and I have zero respect for like police officers that play like, like they use their badge like as if they're God. I have zero respect for that shit. I love, I respect all that, but I have zero tolerance.
DT is screaming on the guy, and like, Jerry, I can see your name. I see the envelope.
Right there. Man,
it's right there.
Let me cover your last name. It's right here. I see there. I'm looking at the envelope on the desk. I'm like, that's the envelope. Look it up on your website. These are the owners. My name is on the management. I'll show you the ID. No, we can't do that. It's against policy. All right. Whatever.
Then you had to go. So then he had to call again and then go back.
Jerry has to call again. Tell the lady whatever he told her. She said, I'm going to put both of your names on it now. Jerry calls me back.
No.
Jerry said, take my name off of it.
Yeah, right. Remove my name and put DT on 100%.
So Jerry's like, yo, I made sure. Jerry's like, I made sure this time my name ain't on it. It's just your name. So when you go there, don't even say my name. Just say your name. So this time, I just saw it was like a holiday or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I had my kids with me.
It was
I had my kids because Jerry was like, yo, I need a solid. Like, do me a favor. I think I was on vacation. I think I was about to go on vacation, something like that. But I had my kids.
Yes, sir.
It was right after Christmas. And So I go to the public safety building, and I got my kids with me. So my kids are like scared. They're like, because they watch TV. And I'm be honest, they're scared.
What are we here for?
They're scared of the police.
Yeah,
they don't like police. They're scared of them. And I don't teach them that. We don't teach them that. Like we don't have that teaching in our house. But nevertheless, I can't. This is what it is. So my daughter starts like getting nervous, and she's like close to my side. So when I'm talking to the police officer, my daughter's like, don't say nothing that's going to get you in trouble. My daughter's 5. So she don't really know what's going on. But my daughter's like, because I was on my phone, and then there was my son read the sign. It said no phones in here, right? So I'm on the phone. I'm talking to Jerry. My son is like, Papa, you can't be on the phone. They're going to take you to jail. I'm like, no, I'm okay. It's all right. So my daughter's like, Papi, no. Like, what we said, you can't do it. So I'm dealing with that. And then I got Jerry on the phone. And I'm talking to a police officer. So nevertheless, he was cool, though. He was super cool. I showed him. And this time I did it different. I showed him my city ID. Instead of showing my license, I showed my city ID. So he was like, boom, boom. And this time when I go, the envelope still don't say nothing. It says Jerry's name. It don't say my name.
What the hell is going on?
38 hot about the whole situation, but I don't want to drag it on. Nevertheless, the dude gave it to me, and then the good part of the story was, police officer was like, "Hey kids, we got gifts around the Christmas trees. If you guys want to go grab a gift, you could take it home with you." So my son and daughter were like eased off by that. So I was trying to tell them, see, the police officers are not bad. They're good people. Yep. Everything's all good. Boom. So they grabbed the gift. Randomly, there's nothing to say that this is a boy's gift, this is a girl's gift. I don't know how it happened. My son, he grabs like this car, but it's wrapped up though. It's in wrapping paper. And my daughter grabs like this kitchenware thing. So they got the presents in the car. We go home, they open it up. My daughter grabs kitchenware, my son grabs the car. So they're all excited, happy. Now their ideology of police officer is a little bit different now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. But nevertheless, to tell you the story. So without dragging this on any further, the way you guys went through your insurance, that shit never happens. That's an anomaly.
Absolutely. You said that that's the first time this ever happened.
It's an anomaly. Of course. Bro, I just had a fire. I had a fire at a property 2 weeks ago. Mind you, this is the second time this property caught on fire in 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
The first time it caught on fire, it was the second floor. It's a 3-unit property. Second floor caught on fire. The tenants did something on the sofa. I don't know if it was matches or if it was an outlet, but whatever. Long story short, caught on fire. It messed up all 3 units. There was like $60,000, $70,000 in damage. The owner's insurance policy was $75,000. So he fixed the whole building. They paid him out the entire amount. So he paid $60,000. He pocketed 15 grand. Right. But
after he paid his,
probably didn't pocket 15,000 because he went like 8 months, 9 months through the construction stage without collecting rent, taxes, insurance. So obviously you got to figure all those things in. So nevertheless, he probably broke even.
Correct.
After that fire, he was smart. He increased his policy.
Yes, sir. The same thing I would have done.
So now 5 years later, the house catches on fire. Now in the rear unit through a bathroom outlet, either a hair dryer or something was plugged in, caused the fire. Again, I'm out of town. It's on a Saturday. I came back in town Saturday night. I get off the plane. Boop, 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 boop. I look at the news. Somebody sends me a news clip of the property. Owner calls me. Long story short, house caught on fire again. It's not as bad as the first one. Structurally, and when you first look at it, it don't look as bad as the first one. But in reality, it's worse. Owner has the property sold. Before the property caught on fire, he had a signed contract. He was probably 10 days away from closing. Right next door to his property, there's a church. The church bought that property from him. Well, was in the process of buying it. They just finished the title and tax. They were basically waiting on a date to close. House catches on fire.
Jesus.
He has an insurance policy that is now increased. He's going to get a very respectable dollar amount. And the church still bought the house as is.
As is.
Wow. So he got paid off selling it. Then got the insurance money as well. See, listen, my life ain't my life ain't like that. My life.
But I'll tell you,
Jerry,
that's what having insurance to do for you, though.
This happened 2 weeks ago.
He already got a check.
He's like a week away from getting his check from his insurance policy and closing.
Yeah, that's not that didn't happen for us.
I didn't even have to supply nothing. No police reports. I didn't have to supply shit.
That's crazy, bro.
I didn't have to go nowhere. I didn't have to make no phone calls, no nothing.
You didn't have to go to the police report to get the report done?
Precinct twice.
As a matter of fact, when you get a fire, they got people who do fire insurance claims. They have like adjusters, like third party people who come and help you with your insurance claim to make sure that your insurance company is going to give you the amount of money that you deserve.
Correct.
He called me 100 times.
Like, what's up?
Yo, let me help you. Help me. I'll go into the property. I'll assess the damage. I'll take pictures. What's your insurance? State Farm? All right, cool. I'm gonna take pictures. I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna cost. I think this is worth $180,000. If State Farm tells you 120, I'll fight them for you. If they give us the 180, I want 8% of what they give you.
You already going? You was gonna get 120.
The movie.
I got you more money. I want 8% of that.
When he called me, right? He was so adamant and he was so bored. I was like, as a matter of fact, call my partners. They got a problem. Help them out.
But listen, guys,
leave me alone.
But listen, for real. Listen, that's what insurance can do for you. You have those options. You have, it's a backup plan. It's a safety net. It is. I'm really not a backup plan. It is the plan that you need to have.
It's part of your real estate investment plan. It's not separate. There's no one without the other.
Right. 1,000%. Right. Absolutely. And with that being said, you guys have seen the proof on this show where we've shown you a video of a grown man crying because he didn't take the proper steps. And here we are going through the same thing. We don't fabricate for you guys. This is a real story. We're going through for real. We on the podcast joking and laughing about it. So, make sure when you buy your real estate, you get your insurance, and with that being said, make sure you go check us out at H.G.R.G.club. Fellas, anything else before we take them out of here?
Just subscribe. We have 2 channels, H.G.R.G.club. This is the main channel. And the second one is H.G.R.G. shorts and clips. It gives the clips. If you have no time to watch the whole episode, we have clips for you so you can get the key points. So please subscribe to both.
Yeah, that's it. Same thing. I reiterate what you said.
All right, listen. We'll see you on the other side.
What they say? I'm so divine, imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental's parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental's parasailing